Okay, I'm a little late to the party on this, but let me speak on this. I meant to do this video back when it first came out, but I'm just now getting around to it. Recently, somebody came out with something where, and this is true, where Drake broke the record of Michael Jackson's record of having seven top 10 Billboard albums or singles. I think it's albums. Drake broke it with nine. And they said Drake is now bigger than Michael Jackson. Now, this is obvious to try to, because they've been trying to supplant Michael Jackson for years, even when he was alive. Whether it was through the allegations of child molestation, whether it's through other artists such as Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber. Of course, they didn't want Chris Brown taking it, which some of the blame has to go on Chris Brown, but that's a whole nother argument. But to suggest, and this is not to say Drake has not earned his success. He has. I mean, like him, don't like him, he is the most successful hip hop artist today. And he has earned his success. But bigger than Michael Jackson, when other artists who probably were bigger than him couldn't even do it. Prince was bigger than him. May he rest in peace. Whitney Houston was bigger than him. Madonna, like her or not, was bigger than him. Britney Spears was arguably bigger than Drake. Michael's own sister, Janet Jackson, was bigger than Drake. I mean, these are people that nearly shut down cities when they would just appear. And none of them could surpass Michael. Michael would just stand on stage and people, particularly women, would faint. And recently I was listening to Jemille Hill's Unbothered. I'm not her biggest fan, but I do respect her work. Jemille put it better than I ever could. And here's that little segment on that she calls "Fuck It, I'm Bothered." Her words, not mine. But here are my words. Ain't this some boo? And now from Jemille Hill.
Twitter. Somebody or some platform proposes a ridiculous question or scenario that is so infuriating, so mind-blowingly dumb, that even though you know it's a cry for attention, you have to use your powers to ensure that people don't start buying into the foolishness. A platform called Rap TV recently threw this question out to the Twitterverse. And warning, please brace yourself. The tweet was, is Drake in 2021 bigger than Michael Jackson at his peak? That tweet was worse than anything $200 Date or LLC Twitter could come up with. I'm bothered not just by the premise, for the mere suggestion, for the unabashed ignorance, but I'm also bothered by the fact that by default, it's gonna make it sound as if I'm disrespecting an artist I like and respect. So let me go ahead and get this out the way now. Drake is the best hitmaker in hip-hop history. Hip-hop purists may not like it, but he has the resume to support a strong case for him being in the top 5 of all-time hip-hop artists. As the wonderful forever First Lady Michelle Obama once said, it is what it is. The reason this Michael Jackson versus Drake debate even surfaced is because Billboard released an article announcing that Drake has now beat Michael Jackson's record for most top 10 hits on the same album. Michael Jackson has 7 top 10 hits on Thriller, but Drake's latest album, Certified Lover Boy, already has 9 top 10 hits. On top of that, Drake also took down a record set by the Beatles, who until now were the only act to ever sweep the top 5 in 1 week. No question, Drake is that dude. But bigger than Michael Jackson? Jemille! Michael Jackson has been famous since he was 5 years old. He was still eating Play-Doh, and he had grown-ass women fainting over him. He became the most famous man in the world without the benefit of the internet for much of his life and career. The Thriller video by itself was a cultural phenomenon. When that video premiered, he shut the world down. It was MTV's first world premiere video ever, and it was the video that finally broke the color barrier for Black artists on that network. Drake has accomplished a lot, but he hasn't done anything that was bigger than Thriller. Michael Jackson would have adult men in Paris crying in tears just because they got a glimpse of him on a hotel balcony. You could go to a remote village in Uzbekistan right now, and they would know who Michael Jackson is. They'd be looking at Drake like, who this? Michael Jackson was out here hanging out with Nelson Mandela, the Dalai Lama, Queen Elizabeth. He was friends with Princess Diana. Meanwhile, I just saw on Instagram Drake having dinner with Fat Joe. Michael Jackson was the most famous person on earth practically every year of his adulthood, and even dead, he's still the most famous entertainer of all time. Bottom line is this. This streaming era got some of y'all fucked up, and it's going to convince some folks who don't know any better to make some crazy ass arguments. But some of us actually lived through it. We synced it. Stay unbothered.
So I stand corrected. It was albums, not singles. Nevertheless, Drake has earned his success, and I will never take that away from him. But like Jemille Hill said, bigger than Michael Jackson? Maybe to somebody that only know of Michael Jackson through videos and through what they've read in books and what they've seen on documentaries now. Yes, I'm being a bit of an ass. But for those that lived through it, and I'm one of them, nah, Drake bigger than Michael Jackson. Like I said, there were a number of artists I named before I put in the Jemille Hill audio clip that, quite frankly, were bigger than Drake, and even they couldn't touch, including Michael's own sister, Janet. Was way bigger in her heyday, pre-Super Bowl, but was way bigger than some Drake. And even she couldn't touch her brother. She'll even tell you, probably. So, nah, brah. Whoever came up with that idea, no. You're talking to millennials that didn't live through it. Well, some of us, as Jemille Hill said, some of us know better. I'm one of them, because I actually lived through it and saw it in real time. To quote one of my friends, Prince GMO, there are people in the world that don't know who Jesus is. Don't get offended, Christians. There are people in the world that don't know who Jesus is, but they know who Michael Jackson is. Just saying. Anyway, I'm out for real.